Today I'm going to be talking about when journaling makes you feel worse instead of better. I've gotten this comment/question from two people, so even though this isn't something that typically happens to me ever really when I journal, it is something that can happen. So I want to talk about the 3 reasons why this can happen and then 2 strategies you can use. So the first reason we need to address is that when you're kicking up things that are actually much deeper, or trauma, capital T trauma, like big things that happen, or lowercase t trauma, like things that happened, like maybe being verbally bullied in school, like that can still kick up issues if you were to journal about this and make it conscious when it's usually subconscious or not something that you're typically thinking about. And that's one reason why therapy is so important, is because when you do talk about things that are especially capital T traumas or things that were big things that happened, to do that in a safe space under the care of a professional is really important. And so that's not really what I'm talking about when I talk about feeling worse after journaling. I'm talking about more of the things you would be journaling about on a day-to-day basis, such as if you were, well, I'll give you an example. If you were to have a relationship problem and then talk to every single one of your best friends about it, so like tell 5 different people and kind of go on and on about it, have you ever noticed that sometimes you feel worse after that as opposed to feeling better? Part of the reason is that if you were to just talk to 1 or 2 people about it, get their perspective, air it out, it's like lightening the load. It's like it's all up here and then we're just letting it out, and you feel lighter and you feel better and you feel understood. But if you talk to everybody you know or all your best friends about it, it gets to the point where you're ruminating, you're focusing on the negative, and could even lead to spiraling. That's what we want to prevent. And so that's one solution when you're journaling, is to journal the right amount. For example, get it all out. Anything that's taking up that mental space, that's keeping you from being productive and your best self, get it on the page. But then don't keep going to the point where you're just dwelling on it, because that can reinforce negative mindsets. And there's a big difference, even though it feels like a fine line, there's a big difference between those two, and you'll feel the shift. And that actually brings me to the last, it's a strategy and a thing you can do, is to end your journaling sessions with something positive. I've never done this on purpose. It always happens organically, because when you write about a problem, when you get a problem into the light, a solution naturally presents itself. I'll give an example. So you can check out my video on why I gave up caffeine, but a little bit of backstory on how I learned I needed to give up caffeine was that I was waking up every day feeling pretty terrible. I was tired and just not fully with it. And so when I would journal in the morning, I wrote, I feel really bad. I think I'm not sleeping that well because of caffeine or because I need to give up coffee. And then after writing that over and over again, it started to get even more direct. Like after a couple weeks, it was like, I need to give up coffee. It would just be the first thing that I write. And then finally, the solution was just so obvious, because when you meditate, journal, go to therapy, anything that is slowing down your mind, making you more aware of your thoughts, making you more aware of your patterns, you will know the course of action that you need to take. So sticking with the practice also is helpful. That's really what I mean by ending with a positive. It's not forced positivity. It's letting the path illuminate itself. It's seeing this in a new light that maybe helps you feel better. It's seeing what you need to do now that you know the problem. It's putting it down so that you feel just a little bit lighter, as opposed to these thoughts just running on autopilot in the background. Another example is, sorry to be plugging all these past videos, they're just relevant. I used to really struggle with jealousy. You can check out my video on that. These are all linked down below. But a lot of it was from really deep insecurity. And so when I would see something that would make me extremely jealous and then slow down and journal about it, I was able to tap into, what is it that's making me feel so bad about myself? What is it do I feel like these other people have that I don't have? What in my past maybe contributed to this? And so yes, it's not positive, but in a way it is, because you're going to end that feeling a little bit better because you're more aware of this as opposed to it being there. Because trust me, anything that you're putting on the page was already there. I hope that this was helpful. So really, to recap, focusing on either getting therapy if you need it and not trying to work through extraordinarily heavy stuff through journaling alone if you need to find help. The second tip is to journal the right amount of time. Get it all out, but don't ruminate. And then thirdly, try to end with a positive action steps, mindsets, beliefs, solutions, things you're grateful for, like anything that can put you in a more positive feeling state after you've gotten everything out that you need to get out, shifting gears and focusing on what's good or what can be good. Hopefully would help you guys out. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if this was helpful for you. Subscribe if this is helpful and you want to see more videos on improvement, mind and body. I will see you guys next week, and thank you for tuning in.